Let us continue with our lesson, and before we move forward with our UI side or our activity, we need to fix a small thing over here. So if you notice here, this is a live data, and this has a reference to LiveDataScope, which is a Kotlin code. And by default, when you are performing some of the network requests, like whenever you are calling or to perform a network request, it should always be done in a background thread. So we should never perform a network request in a main UI thread. So for that, how we can run this live data in a background thread. So if you just click over here and press a Control and B from your keyboard, it will take you to the class where it has mentioned that coroutine context to run a given block. So we can pass a coroutine context where we want to run this context, and by default it's run in dispatcher that main, which is run in a, if it doesn't pass any of the coroutine context, it will run in a main thread, and that's returning a live data of a coroutine live data. So coroutine is present. We can directly get a live data using this one from our Kotlin coroutine function. So in order to run this one, we can just pass it over here as a IO. We should be dispatcher.io, and we can just click on here and press a Alt and enter. That should import the class for us, which is a dispatcher.io. You can also directly write it over here as a dispatcher.io that we have mentioned previously, but for if you don't want to write a dispatcher.io, then you can just import this class. That's perfectly fine. But if you don't want to write dispatcher.io, we can directly write io, which will run on dispatcher.io of a background thread for our Kotlin coroutine. And here we can see that it has imported the package for us. And just remove this one. So we have run this in now we have access to the background thread. So whenever we are performing this request, it will do it in a background thread. And similarly for this is a login view model, and let's go to the register view model. And similarly we can pass the IO over here to run it in a background thread. So dispatcher.io, just import it, and now this function will also run in a background thread. So whenever we are performing a network request or any data operation, we should always perform in a background thread. So for the live data, we can use whenever we are using a live data scope over here, which is also a Kotlin coroutine scope. This is extending the Kotlin coroutine. So we can make use of a IO or dispatcher.io that's run in our background thread. So I hope you guys got it. So that makes the final thing that we have to amend in our register and a login model view. We'll move forward with our activity on our next lecture. Till then, have a great day.